Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you an overview and review of a game that's coming out on Kickstarter soon called Bon Appetit. So this is a card game, party game for 2 to 6 players, 14 plus. And I would go as far to say it's kind of a set collection game because you are collecting sets to complete your menu. So very easy setup. You are dealing 7 cards to each player. And you will have your choice of one of 3 actions when it's on your turn. Within that action, you can play as many cards or discard as many cards or play as many tricks as you want. But however, you can't do multiple actions. So in other words, one of the actions is cooking. So you look at your hand and you're going to have your sets down here, or if it's your first turn you don't have anything, you are going to lay down as many menu items as you can. You can't duplicate. For instance, you can't have 2 entrees, can't have 2 soups, 2 salads. So if you have one already down, you would need to swap it with one in your hand, which is fine. So you're just laying down as many as you can in your turn that are not played yet on your menu card you're trying to complete the menu before anyone else and call Bon Appetit, which means that you've completed it, and then everyone will look and make sure you actually completed it. If you're wrong and you're missing a menu item that you need, you have to discard your entire hand, pick up 7 items that you already played, and that is your hand. You don't get to draw any cards. Normally, you play as many cards as you can when you're cooking, and then you draw back up at the end of your turn to 7 cards. You can also trash items. That's where you're discarding as many items as you want from your hand and drawing back up that to 7 cards, and that's your action for that turn. The last thing is playing tricks. You can play as many tricks as you want from your hand, and then you would just draw back up when you're at the end of your turn. So now we're going to go into that's the game mechanics. And again, the game ends when someone calls Bon Appetit. So now I'm going to go over some of the cards in more detail and the menu items, what you were going towards in detail. So this card is everyone's has the same. It's the menu item card. Everyone needs 1 entree set, 1 side set, 1 salad set, a drink, and a utensil that matches the items that you have in your set. So for example, if you have a meat, you need a fork for that meat. However, if you have a steak, you need a knife and a fork. So you would need to have a knife and a fork over here. So this is your fork. This is your spoon. For your side set, it's a salad and, side set is soup and bread. So you would need a spoon to eat your soup with. For salad, it's a lettuce and dressing, and you already have a fork with your meat, so you're fine on that. And then you need a drink of some sort. Some drinks require a straw, some do not. Regular water would require a straw. However, like coffee, there's other items, they'll tell you if they don't require a straw. So once you've got all those sets completed, so for the entree you need meat, seasoning, and sauce. So I have a meat, seasoning, and sauce here. And it could be any meat, seasoning, and sauce. However, some of them have special benefits. So this red sauce says if you play this card and you have either a meatball or meatloaf, see, I have meatloaf for my entree, you do not need any salad items. So I could actually call Bon Appetit without having any of the salad set, if I was able to do that. Also on this one, it says plus 15 if you have regular water. Where that comes into play, there's a card called Golden Spatula. That's a legendary trick card. If you get that in your hand, you want to keep it. You don't want to let anyone know you have it. You cannot call Bon Appetit when you have that card, and you cannot discard it. So it's yours for the rest of the game. And the reason is, you got to wait for someone else to call Bon Appetit. When they call it, that doesn't necessarily mean they won, even if they've completed their menu. At that point, you count up the points, which are these numbers on the bottoms of the cards, and see, because I have regular water, that's an additional 15 points. So if your points if you are holding the golden spatula and you have more points than the person who called Bon Appetit, you actually win the game. So that's a sneaky, legendary trick that you have in your hand that can take others off, catch others by surprise, especially if they don't know someone actually has it. For your salad, you need salad lettuce and salad dressing. On the ranch here, it says if you play this card and you have the chicken entree, you do not need a seasoning or sauce card to complete your entree. However, this card cannot be played with any seafood items. So it limits you on playing seafood entrees. However, you don't need the sauce and seasoning because the ranch would be the sauce and seasoning for whatever meat you played. For your sides, it's a bread and a soup. This homemade side bread, when using this card, you do not need a soup card as one of your side items. So you could just play this bread by itself and not have to have the soup to complete the side set. So there's a lot of cards. I'm not going to go over all of them that have special abilities or limitations based on playing that card. I'm going to go over the tricks and the boss cards. So the boss cards, we played several times. None of us were able to obtain the 3 teddy bears within our menu to obtain it. But there's these little teddy bears on the bottom. There's not very many of them. If you happen to play cards and there's 3 teddy bears on them, you get to take this boss card for one-time use. It's an OP card. Basically, it's you throw the rules out the door. You're the boss. You can use this card each time you collect 3 teddy bears. Each time you collect 3 teddy bears, add a boss card to your hand. Even if you have more than 7, so it doesn't pertain to your hand limit. You can play this card at any time during the game, before, during, or after any other player's turn, including your own. You're the boss, so play however you like. So your 6 choices on that card that you can choose from to do whenever you decide to play it. So you force each player to reveal their card with the highest points, and you could take the card you want as long as you don't have more than 7 cards. So it's a way, if you're playing this one out of your hand, you're not, well, technically that's wrong. If you playing this after you obtain this card, I guess, you would be drawing back up to 7 cards usually. So if you have 7 cards, or if you have 6 cards or less, you could use that action. You play all 3 turn options this turn, so that lets you do cook, trash, and trick all in one turn. Reveal any kind of trick card you want this turn and take it from the other player. So you would just call out a trick card that you want, and if someone has it, they have to give it to you. Reveal who has the golden spatula, give it to another player. So that's the way you lose the golden spatula. So if someone does happen to get a boss card, they're going to have to reveal it and give it to somebody else. Hold 2 extra cards for the remainder of the game. That could be a big advantage. You have a 9 instead of 7. And limit any player for playing tricks until after you play your next turn. So the boss cards are definitely OP, but it is very difficult to get those 3 teddy bears because you're working towards completing your sets, trying to get them completed first, and you're working also within the limitations of the text on the cards that limit you from playing certain items. So that kind of, in my opinion, prevents you from getting the teddy bears unless you're just going for the teddy bears. You kind of have to choose, in my opinion, because like the drink, there was a card I could have played that had a teddy bear, but the regular drink, but this regular water gives me 15 plus points. So it depends on what you're going for. Because if I want to make sure whoever has a golden spatula, or myself if I have it, has the most points, I would probably want to keep that to make sure I possibly may win the game. So there's a lot of different tricks. There's the legendary tricks. Golden spatula is one of those. I went over that. There's the Master Chef. All players lose their tricks, but you Master Chef, shuffle all tricks back into the unused card pile. So Quentin had played that one on us, and I had the golden spatula too. I had some good cards in my hand, that good tricks. I had some protection cards and stuff, so they had to just go back in the deck. I got very lucky. Yeah, you did. Super tricks. Sneaky Neighbor. Take a card from another player's set that isn't protected by an insulated dish. So you could just take one from their set they're already working on. Insulated Dish. Play this card on any completed set to protect your items, or you can use this card on your next turn if a trick has already been used against you. In this case, discard the trick played against you and this card after you play it. So it kind of protects you. Then you have the Chef Specials. Those are pretty high-powered, too. There's several of them. This one is the Vegetarian. If you play this card, you can use it as your entire entree. You do not need any, you do not need any salad items. So this Vegetarian would make it to where you don't need an entree or salad. So all you would need is this, the side items, which is the soup and bread, and a utensils, and your drink. So you could see how that would save you from a lot of cards that you would normally have to get in your hands before you could play. There's another one that makes it to where all you need is an entree, a drink, and a utensil. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the regular tricks, there's Freezer Burnt. This is a take that card. You choose one meat item from another player's meal to discard. If their set is protected with a protective dish card, you can use this trick to discard their protective dish only. And this is the protective dish. So there are quite a few of these in the deck. This one, once you've got a full set, you're just going to play that on top to protect it. And if someone tries to attack you, they take this instead of your set. The mold card, choose either a lettuce or bread card of another player to discard. If their set's protected with the protective dish card, you can use that. So same thing. This mold works against the lettuce and bread. And then there's Overcooked. You could choose either an entree set. This is a whole set. This one's painful. You can do an entree set or a whole side set of another player to discard.
I did that to Anthony.
If their set is protected by a protective dish, you would remove that instead of the set. So little bit of take that in this game, and pretty straightforward on the cards. You basically read what's on the card to see what your limitations are or benefits from playing that card. You want to look out and make sure you have the teddy bears. And of course, you're working all within the 7 card limit that you have. You'll be getting a variety of tricks and meal items to work with that you're just going back and forth, turn by turn, until someone calls Bon Appetit. And if you have a golden spatula, you're hoping you have more points than that person that called it. So that covered it all. So that's this game in a nutshell. So what did you think, Quentin?
So I thought the game was pretty cool. I like the artwork on it. The artwork's cool. Mm-hmm. And then also the game mechanics. It's like a set building game where you have to keep on building your sets, and it's very, very helpful to have those protective discards, because there's always gonna be, if you're playing 3 or more players, you're constantly gonna be getting attacked a lot, because there's gonna be a lot of those like trick cards that people have in their hands. So there was a lot of take that cards in there. Anthony, he was only 1 card away from winning, and I played like the mold, and then I played the Overcooked, and I played Never One, and I was able to pretty much set down all of his sets with that. There is one card, I think it might be a little bit too overpowered. It's called the Coffee card.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And I'm pretty sure you only need like 2 requirements.
It was a chef special.
And you win. Yeah, it's a very powerful card. and I remember when we played, so Amanda played. She won in the second turn when she had that card.
Yeah.
And then I played. It took me a lot longer, but I purposely was kind of trying to stall it.
Didn't you have the golden spatula?
Yeah, the golden spatula.
So he couldn't call Bon Appetit.
Yeah. Plus, I was trying to get like the most points too.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Henry?
I think I really like the illustration. Also, the take that aspect of the game. I'm guessing that with the Kickstarter, they'll probably introduce some more cards that have more Kickstart aspects in the game, because this is a prototype, and so it's subject to change, and also some, with the Kickstarters or stretch goals, and so there'll be more. I'm guessing the cards that have abilities that do more things as opposed to the regular cards, so you're just getting for the meal. And then also I like the set collection. This game is also quick to set up and tear down. It's a very easy, family-friendly game. So it looks cool with the illustration. It reminds me a lot of games that have come out recently. And so just easy to learn family game that I think it'll do well on Kickstarter and also in other online sites where you could sell games.
So yeah, it's like he said, it would be a great family game. Younger kids, of course, would probably have a hard time. That's why it's 14 plus, kind of, wrapping their head around the entrees and everything they need. But it would be a casual game. It's a great game for casual gamers that just want a simple game that simple to set up, simple to learn, and just strategic because you're trying to, collect the sets first with a little bit of take that. So it has a little bit of everything in there, but it is more for a casual gamer, I would say, which would do great on, the Amazons that sell games and things. These type of games do really well, I've noticed, on Amazon. Because it appeals more to the masses versus, the Euro games that you have to really be into complex games to like those. So this would appeal to a lot of people, I think. And I do like the illustrations. They're really cute, the cartoons. And it does have a good balance of the trick cards versus the menu cards. I will say, though, the games do vary. We played several times. They do vary a lot. Like one time I won in 2 turns because I did get that coffee card where I pretty much only needed an entree and a drink and I think a utensil, basically. Yeah. I didn't need the side or the salad, I think, is what it eliminated.
Yeah, it depends on what you draw. This game can be between 5 minutes or 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah. But then there was another game where we were all just discarding our entire hand a lot because we weren't getting new cards that we needed. I was getting a lot of duplicates. I had a lot of protection cards, but I couldn't use them at the time because that was I didn't have my full sets yet. I was having a hard time getting an entree, I think, that time. But yeah, so each game you play will be very different just depending on what cards come out. But yeah, I think anyone that's in, casual gamers that are into these simple card games like this would probably enjoy this game. We will put the link for the Kickstarter in the description. I believe they are hoping to start in April.
Yeah, early April.
Early April for the Kickstarter. They did want they did say they are going to be tweaking the cards a little bit to make them easier to read, things like that, and they'll probably be tweaking the rules. But I think overall, this is the way the game will be, other than maybe just a few little tweaks.
Yeah.
Other than that, but definitely you should check this out. We will have the link in our description. We hope you'll give this video a like. Please share it so others that might like this game might check out their Kickstarter. I would follow their Kickstarter so you'll know when it's live. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If not, we hope you will subscribe. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.